Okay, the video that you watched showed you how to do a running stitch, a back stitch, and a chain stitch. And I'm going to teach you a couple more stitches that you'll be able to use. One, we're going to start with something like the chain stitch, and I'm going to do it in a different color here. So, coming from the back, you're going to make that loop like you're making a chain. And this is how you can make flowers. So I make just the one chain, and then on the other side of that loop, I'm going to come down to anchor it. Whoops. And then I'm going to come up over here and I'm going to make another one. So I'm making the petals of a flower. And now you can see that it is starting to take shape. I would do an odd number. Odd numbers always look better. And I'm going to leave a little bit in the middle so that I can show you another stitch. Okay, this is a little bit more difficult to do. So that's how easy it is. It's just a chain stitch, but they're not all connected. It's just one and where you anchor it at the end. I'm not going to finish this. I'm going to go on to the next stitch. The next stitch that is used a lot is called a French knot. And I already have orange on here, so I'm just doing it for you. Normally I would use another color, so the middle of the flower is a different color. What you'll do is you'll come up through the fabric, you take your needle and you wrap the floss around one time, and I always pull it as tight as I can without it coming off, and then go down as close as you can to the where you came up. Pull so that it doesn't knot. And then I'm hoping you can see it. I'm going to do one over here so you can see it. It's hard when it's the same color. So I came up here, I wrap once around the needle. I'm going to go down right here. I just want to keep this out of the way. Pull gently. And you have kind of like a little knot that sticks up a little bit. Can you see how it sort of sticks up off of there? So you can use them as little accents, the middle of a flower, depending on what it is that you want to do. If you wanted just to do a bunch of French knots really close together to make a raised section that was textured, you could do that. If I wanted to do another one right here, and then it just gives you a nice textured look. There we go. So you can see how it's raised. There we go. And then the next one I want to give you is called a feather stitch. I'm just going to do it this way. And it's kind of like little V's together. And what it's really good for is if you're making, I know I did this in the 70s, a vine. Like I did a vine of flowers. I added these little daisy flowers onto it, going down the side of my jeans. So it's just like this. And then I would go over here. So you're making a V. I'm going to try to make it the same size. And then you can keep going that direction, or I like going back and forth, back and forth. Much harder to do this when you're videoing it for YouTube than if I was sitting at home on the couch doing it. So it doesn't have to be perfect if you're making a vine, because if we look in nature, nature is beautiful, but not necessarily perfectly symmetrical. So you have that, then you could add flowers over here if you wanted to, or you could use this, I don't know, for any number of things. And you end it the same way, where you come down to anchor that last one. You could use it if you were doing a scene that had birds in it and you wanted to make it look like there were birds flying. Then don't make it as steep of a V. Oops. Could kind of make it look like that. It's hard to imagine an orange bird here in California, but there you go. So, you know, you can be super creative with it. So here are 3 more stitches that I would like to see you guys incorporate along with the ones from the other YouTube on just a sample. And your sample doesn't have to look any different than this. If you're going to do a daisy, in fact, I'd like you to do a daisy, please make sure that you finish it. I'm trying not to bore you to death watching me finish a daisy. I don't know how to speed up the video. So I would like to see the 6 different stitches. Again, your running stitch, your back stitch, your chain stitch, daisy stitch, French knot, and a feather stitch. So I would like to see at least, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 if you're doing the feather stitch. Complete the daisy and then some French knots too. And this will give you a really good basic amount of stitches so that you can do the big project that we're going to do with this. Have fun.